Hey everybody, it's Adrian Ross here. And a big part of being an artist is that it takes a village, if you will. So there's lots of people that have helped me along the way to getting my album out. And one of those people is a good friend of mine. His name's Rob Armstrong. He's an amazing artist. And we're going to take a moment today to chat with him. Hey Rob.
Hi, Adrian.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. For anyone who doesn't know, Rob did the cover art for my album, The Love Electric. Oh, shoot, there it is.
Buy your copy on iTunes.
And buy your copy on iTunes, on Bandcamp, on adrianrossmusic.com. What? Plug. Tell me a little bit how you got into drawing.
When I was a kid, my parents didn't have an awful lot of money, but my dad worked for the government, and he would always bring home pads of paper. My next door neighbor had a bunch of comic books, and we would just sit outside for days, for months, years at a time, sitting outside just tracing comic books. And then after a while, we didn't need the comic books at all anymore because we had drawn these things so many times over and over again that it was just, we knew how one line looked at another. We sort of had a rough idea of how anatomy worked. And then when I went into university, that's when I really sort of blossomed.
I think there's some sort of statistic that says it takes 10,000 hours of doing something to become a pro at it. So,
and you have to have the passion there.
Of course.
Find something you love doing and pursue it all the time.
How would you describe your aesthetic when it comes to art?
I'm a Frankenstein artist, so my artwork itself, I'd say, is an amalgamation of every other artist I've ever seen. Much to my wife's chagrin, I still have, $100 a week addiction to comic books. So that thing, no, it's not really 100. It's one of those things that, I loved reading comics when I was a kid, and I never got past it. And now the writing has become a lot more for adults, I think, and less for children, so it's grown up with me.
Tell me a little bit about some of the works that you've been commissioned to do and how those works came about.
I actively don't go out and search for commissions. I think it sort of passively came to me. I started doing stuff for friends first in lieu of buying gifts. Lately, though, word has been getting out that I do commissions, so now they've been coming more and more. I did a piece for a woman who lives in the UK. Her husband is a big Leeds United fan. That was a lot of fun to do because I hand-colored the whole thing. I did a gigantic oil painting for my wife for our wedding. They're starting to be more comic book oriented now. I did a zombie piece, and I've done a lot of artwork like what you can see over my shoulder here, which is sort of just an Andy Warhol type black and white portrait of my wife.
But you've also created some original works. Tell me about American Nightmare.
American Nightmare was a project I came up with when I was working in the industry full-time, and the company I was working for was very anime/manga oriented, so it had a very Japanese flavor to the artwork. After it was done, I went down to San Diego, and just a few years before that, I had gone there as a professional and signed autographs for lines of people who were waiting for me, and now I was down there on the other side of the table asking these publishers to take a shot on me.
Right.
Not really what anyone was looking for at the time, so it's shelved for now, but I may revisit it.
And another original project that you've done is Red Hillbilly. What was the impetus for creating the project, and what's your vision for it moving forward?
After I did American Nightmare, I sort of realized that this is really where my passion is. I love creating these fully fleshed out stories. I've always loved these stories where kids are in peril, but they end up rising up to defeat whoever the bad guy is. I wanted to tell a story where there's real danger to these children, and it's really scary, but I don't feel the need to draw a lot of gory bits. I just want people to read it and have their pulse pound, right, and have the pages just be flying by.
And what do you want to do with that project moving forward?
Right now, because I was in the industry, I have some friends like Alvin Lee and Francis Manipul and Joe Ings. Now I can ask them as well-known DC and Marvel artists to do covers for me so that I can launch a Kickstarter in December. Look for Red Hillbilly and donate if you want. I'm just looking for enough money to publish it, and once it's published, I'll pay for myself to go around to conventions, and I'll sell it by hand and by word of mouth and just get enough people interested and enough copies sold so that I can do a second volume.
How can people see more of your work or get in touch with you if they wanted to commission a piece of art from you?
I'm on Instagram. I am GroovyDead1, or you can find me as GroovyDead on DeviantArt. You can also look for the Kickstarter in December, like I said, for Red Hillbilly and Groovy Dead Production.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Hopefully we'll talk soon.
All right. Have a good night, Adrian.
Thanks. Bye for now.